Welcome to the Drop the Needle podcast, your backstage pass to the corporate jungle. I'm your host, Jim Alstott, and here, industry titans step up to the mic, sharing their epic journeys. We're hitting the high notes and the low notes of their careers, creating a symphony of success. This isn't just another interview show, it's where truth bombs are dropped and secrets are revealed. So grab your conductor's baton because who knows, this just might help you compose the next huge hit of your career. Are you ready? Let's go.
That's right.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Drop the Needle podcast. I am your host, Jim Alstott, and today we have a very special guest. We have with us today the CEO of Pause Sparkling Water, Joe Guthrie. Joe's an Illinois State University alumnus, and right out of school, Joe went to work as a trader at the Chicago Board of Trade. He went from the pits on the trading floor to the ivory tower of Pause Sparkling Water. Welcome, everyone. Joe Guthrie. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Jim. How are you? It's good to see you.
It's nice to see you, bud. How you doing today?
Doing great, thanks.
Excellent, excellent. So why don't we start out with this? Why don't you give everyone a little background on what Pause is, the history of Pause, that sort of thing?
Sure. So Pause is a sparkling water. Jim, it's a sparkling water that has no sugar, no calories, and no carbs. And Pause it does have 20 milligrams of broad spectrum CBD. And with the CBD in there, the broad spectrum specifically, that also assures you that there's no THC in Pause. There's no THC and there's no alcohol. So it's just a real clean, crisp, refreshing drink that, again, has no sugar, no calories, no carbs, and some really good stuff for you, that broad spectrum CBD, which works so well with your body through all different parts of your day. And it's just basically a great, healthy NA alternative. If somebody's out, if you're in a social situation, if you're bars, restaurants, orders, it's something you can certainly reach out to and continue, and have a drink or drinks, and okay. That's really good for you.
Sounds good. And as a matter of fact, I have one right here. That's why it sounds good. This is going to sound good.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to pour a little bit of Pause into a glass. I'm going to give her a run here. So you say zero sugar, zero
Cheers.
Calories. Cheers. 100% great taste, though. I mean,
thank you. Yeah.
That's really good. Wow. Excellent. So what are some of the other benefits as it relates to no sugar, no calories? Obviously, that's a big benefit for a lot of people.
Oh, it's a huge benefit. I think, nowadays with the world, everybody, everything's trending towards making healthier decisions in terms of what you put in your body, be it, from what you eat, what you drink, and what have you. This is just it's certainly that alternative that
an offshoot for health. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. An alternative beverage, how you want to look at it. And the CBD can be consumed in so many different ways. From tinctures to edibles to actually smoking the actual hemp flower, to, in this case, drinking it through a beverage that's good and good for you. And it's something that can be consumed, easily, and basically anywhere, be it in your car, you can, if you're driving around at work, whatever.
Zero sugar, zero calories. What else is there? I know there's CBD in there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that benefit of having CBD in there?
Okay. So the CBD in Pause, as I mentioned, is broad spectrum, which means that there's no THC whatsoever. And the benefits of broad spectrum CBD are enormous. It's, from a medical standpoint, it has been said it certainly helps with anxiety. It helps with inflammation.
Excellent.
It helps you sleep, quite honestly.
Very good.
And it works with your endocannabinoid system at all times of the day and night. When you're getting ready to go to bed, your body's winding down, the CBD works with your body.
Okay. Now we'll talk more about the endocannabinoid system in a little bit, because I'm real curious. So you say broad spectrum CBD. How do we really know what's really in here? I mean, do you test it? How does that work?
Absolutely. It's a good question, Jim. So first of all, we get our CBD from a company called Source Technologies out of Washington State. And Source has just been a great company to work with and partner with. on our project here because it's the top producer of these emulsified cannabinoid oils. So we get our actual CBD from our source is Source Technologies.
Excellent.
And yep.
That's excellent. So I'm going to ask you this, and it may seem like a silly question, but what sort of challenges have you run into as it relates to manufacturing or marketing or distribution of pause?
I would say, Jim, that the biggest challenge right now in the space is because it's still relatively new. An alternative beverage is, I would say that such a large percentage of my time and my job right now is education and teaching people and just basically walking through what is CBD, and what is a cannabinoid, and where does it come from, what does it do? So many different questions. Is it intoxicating? Is it legal? All the above, and it's a full-time job almost from an education standpoint.
I
It's
believe
understandable
that.
because it's so new on. Yeah.
I absolutely believe that. So looking back from the launch of Paused until today, would you do anything differently knowing what you now know?
I don't know if we do anything differently, no, because we're on course. We're happy with with the progress that we've made, and working to continue to grow this, to grow the brand. It's the challenge of education is going to be there for a while, and it's okay. It's part of it. We knew it would be part of it, and it's as people learn and as they try the product and they like the product. You built in people that are loyal to the concept and loyal to the brand, quite honestly.
Right.
And they said, Jesus has never been around. I've never tried this before. Now I'm really happy with it.
That's excellent. And I know there's got to be some satisfaction in that, especially from the standpoint where you're able to educate people on the health benefits of the beverage that you're bringing out, the alternative beverage that you're bringing out. So Pause is up and it's rocking and rolling right now. And you've done very well with Pause CBD. I should say Pause sparkling water with CBD.
Yep.
So now what's the new big thing for Pause Beverages?
It's another great question, Jim. So the new big thing is just as of February 2nd, we just introduced Pause Plus into the marketplace. So Pause
Congratulations.
Plus, thank you. Yeah. So Pause Plus is a THC-infused beverage. The current version right now, Pause Plus, we've got 2.5 milligrams of THC. Excuse me, it is hemp-derived THC.
Okay.
And 2.5 milligrams of CBD in each 12-ounce can. So it's a very sessionable beverage. And it's a beverage that can be enjoyed in most any setting where somebody would be drinking any other beverage, be it alcohol or non-alcoholic beverage.
Well, I'm going to enjoy one right now because I happen to have one of the Pause Plus beverages right here. So I'm going to,
nice.
here we go.
Oh, I love that sound.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, wow. So fizzy. Yeah. Wow. That's really good too. That's got, actually, with adding the THC, I was thinking that might almost be overpowering and you wouldn't get that lime flavor of the lime lift, but you do. It still comes through, and that's a tasty beverage right there.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Thank you.
That's really good. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean.
I was going to say, Jim, one of the things that you touched on earlier is that when we get into, especially in a Pause Plus, we mentioned, you were talking about testing earlier, and one of the things that's so important to us is we test our Pause and our Pause Plus at every level of production, from as it goes through the actual brewing process to when we get ready to go ahead and can it, package it. Mm-hmm. We test it at various stages of the canning line, the canning run, from the first few cans off to the middle of the batch to the end of the batch, and to basically make sure that what you see on the label is exactly what you're getting. And in this case, the 2.5 milligrams of THC and the 2.5 milligrams of CBD. We use multiple independent labs that go ahead and test this, that perform these tests for us, and we pour over it because it's a super important part. Especially
Absolutely.
when you start to get into people wondering what is in this,
Well, yeah. What exactly
how do
is
I
in here?
know? How do I know? Just because the
Right.
can says it, how do I know? And we've got all that. It's posted on our website as well, but it's something that's
Excellent.
extremely important to us.
So why 2.5 and 2.5? And I know previously you had mentioned the endocannabinoid system. So why the 2.5, 2.5?
It's a 1-to-1 ratio. That the sort of the term, the slang in the industry is it's a golden ratio because they work so well together. You mentioned this endocannabinoid system, and we have receptors that work with your endocannabinoid system. Out of personal experience and just a whole lot of research, also, it just seems to be that 1-to-1 ratio just really they play off each other so well. The THC and the CBD, you see other ratios of 3-to-1, 4-to-1. You see 20-to-1 in some cases I've seen. And I just think it's a different experience. It's not a bad experience by any stretch, but I just think this is the best ratio and provides the best experience.
Sure. So a natural question that comes to my mind is, how do you combat the stigma of and I'll use this, sorry if it's offensive, weed drink?
Yeah, for
sure. With Pause Plus.
Yeah, it's super valid. These days, obviously, it's we grew up and so many people grew up in this sort of the world of the reefer madness. And this is your brain on drugs, and marijuana is a devil's lettuce, and it's the worst thing in the world for you. And so when that came from people as they were consuming, multiple alcohol beverages and like that, and I guess that the point I'm getting at is that cannabis this is normalizing the use of cannabis. This is not smoking it. You don't have to step outside, or and your clothes aren't going to smell, and
seems a lot more social to do something like this, because you could just grab a can, open the can, and you can stand there and drink it with somebody, as opposed to shuffling off somewhere.
Exactly. You're not inhaling. You're not there's so many other ways to consume cannabis, from eating it to drinking it to smoking it. And I think that drinking cannabis is I think it's the future of cannabis consumption, one, and I think it's going to be the future of how people choose to recreate. When they're out with friends, watching a game, listen to music, whatever it is that they're doing, when they have choices on the table as to what can I drink, or what do I want to drink. I think you'll see more and more people reaching, for these THC infused beverages. For give me a Pause Plus, because I know I know what the effects are, what the effects can be.
Sure.
Relative to some of my other choices, and it becomes, in my opinion, a no-brainer.
So a couple of things. Number one, I don't know if anybody or everyone can hear that beep beep in the background. Joe, if you see the backdrop, there is actually at the Noon Whistle Brewery right now, and that's a lot of cans.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Behind you. But that's where Joe's zooming in. It's not even zooming in. He's meeting us today from the Noon Whistle Brewing Company in Naperville. So the next question, as it relates to, after combating the stigma, then what do you do as far as marketing the product then? We're knocking that wall down of THC or weed, marijuana, whatever is bad for you. So then what's the next step? How do you get it out there? How do you market it, and market it responsibly, for that matter?
Yeah, it's super valid point on it, especially on the responsibility standpoint. It's our stance on this is it's a 21 and over beverage, the Pause Pluses. I think it should be treated from a regulation standpoint and a legal standpoint like alcohol. And you cannot consume Pause Plus in the car. You should not drive or operate a vehicle after consuming this Pause Plus, because it is ultimately it's even though it's a very low dose option, it's a THC infused beverage,
right,
that can have intoxicating and does have intoxicating effects.
Sure.
So that's really, really important to us. And then in terms of the normalization of cannabis use, I think that it's really important that people, they see it when they're out, and then suddenly when it's
right.
when you're at maybe a favorite establishment, you see other people having alcoholic beverage, and you can see you can get a Pause Plus there, when you can see Pause Plus in a liquor store.
So is that then your goal for Pause Plus?
Well, ultimately, our goal for Pause Plus is to have this distributed nationwide. and have the concept of Pause Plus being a brand like so many other bigger brands. People say, hey, I want a Coke, or I want a Gatorade, or I want a
Right.
Budweiser, or I want a Coors Light, things like that. And Pause Plus has a fit in all of that. And that's what we're going to be working towards.
So is that where you envision the future going with these alternative beverages like Pause Plus?
Yes, without question. I think the future of cannabis consumption is going to be drinking it. And in fact, just a few numbers for you. Right now, cannabis consumption, is from a drinking standpoint, is roughly 1.5% to 2% of all legal THC and cannabis sold.
Wow.
And I think that's going to be a big number in the not too distant future over the next year or two. And I also think that it's going to go ahead and start to really become commonplace, like I said, in restaurants and bars and hotel bars, whatever it might be. People are going to see that, and I think it's the future of just beverage consumption in general when people want to recreate. And if they don't want to recreate from a potential, a sessionable, intoxicating beverage, you have the options of
just going pause, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, here's just another beverage that's the pause is so good for you and hydrating and
it's a wonderful option to have. It seems that you're able to get the best of both worlds there. And I know that, so first of all, I'll be really curious to see how this entire industry evolves, because I have to think that you're spot on with that as it relates to seeing the evolution of that. And for a variety of reasons we talked about, with the health reasons, could be philosophical differences with alcohol, could be religion. Who knows what they may be? It does that, I suppose, doesn't really matter. What really does matter is the fact that there's options that are available for people that they're kind of unique. And actually, and besides being unique, they actually taste pretty good too. So that's a really good thing. So as you know, most of our shows, there's a musical component, because I like to sprinkle in music, because I honestly believe that music is a common thread within people's lives. As a matter of fact, I believe it's more than a common thread. I believe it's something that people rely on in their times of need or in different crossroads of their life. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the next portion of the interview here with Joe, and we're going to talk about music. So, and also just as a point here, within each one of our shows, we have a toolkit that will be provided, and that is sponsored by the Corporate Mindfulness Connection. And there's also going to be a playlist. There will be a link to the playlist from today's show. So you'll be able to pick that up. You'll be able to listen to it. And it should actually be very cool for everyone to enjoy that. So are you ready, Joe?
Let's go.
Okay. So these are going to come at you pretty quickly, but we're going to go for it. What was the first song on the radio that you can think of that really grabbed you?
That really grabbed me. I'm gonna have to say, Jim, I'm gonna go back with an old tune by Ted Nugent called "Stranglehold." I don't know what age, fifth, sixth grade, whatever it was. I heard that on I remember the radio station, even the Loop, FM 98.
Yeah,
in Chicago.
97.9.
97.9. There you go. Good call. And I remember hearing that Stranglehold, and that was one of the first songs that I can remember. Like, wow, how do I hear that again? How do I hear that again? And
that's excellent.
I went and found an album called Double Live Gonzo.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, listen to that song over and over and over again. It was a fun something. First, hardcore rock and roll song, I thought.
Very cool. Very cool. What was the Guthrie family sing along when you went on road trips or on vacations?
Oh boy. There were a few, but I would say, back when I was a kid, I would say we're going to go with a John Denver song, Colorado, Rocky Mountain High.
Oh,
the Rocky Mountain High. Yeah, that was a great fun song to sing along with, and that was when I was a kid. Now, on my family trips with my kids, it's evolved to, I would say, a David Allan Coe tune. You Don't Have to Call Me Darling.
Oh my gosh.
You never even call me by my name. Is the
Yes.
actual name of
The
that song.
perfect
But
country
everybody,
western song.
yes, yeah. I wrote him back a letter. And I told him it was not the perfect country and western song. Yeah. So we've had a lot of laughs with that through the years. It's
That's
fun
excellent.
music. Yes.
I love that. I love that. Talk about a wide range so far on the first three. Holy cow. Holy cow. Okay, so question that we're going to go to is, you're married, right, Joe?
I am.
Okay. So, and you better remember the answer to this question. Otherwise, you might be in trouble at home.
Uh-oh.
So, what was the name of the song for your first dance of the wedding?
Super easy question. Going back about a little over 26 years ago, there's a song by Jimmy Buffett called "Bigger Than the Both of Us." I just think it's one of the greatest love songs ever written. Just super appropriate for a wedding, and being a big Jimmy Buffett fan, and my fiance became a big Jimmy Buffett fan, and is still a big Jimmy Buffett fan to this day. But that was our first song, first dance, I guess I should say.
That's a beautiful song too. That is just a beautiful song. Well done. You remembered, and you won't have to sleep on the couch tonight. So
no.
That's good. So that's a plus.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what was, I'm going to go to high school here. And what was your cruising song with your buddies when you're in the car? What was that go-to there?
Oh, cruising song, like turn it up and play it loud.
Yeah.
Play it again, and everybody sang along. I'm gonna probably, U2 was so huge back then. They were, they were really hitting their stride, and I forgot what album was on, but I want to say "Pride in the Name of Love." You seem to hear that everywhere back in the day. And, at that time, it's it's great party music, great drive around, like you say, music. It was just, I would say that was one of them, certainly. One that comes to mind right away.
Was that on Unforgettable Fire?
I think it was. Yes, it was. That's a good call. You're exactly right.
I thought that's what it was. So let's fast forward a little bit into college, and people typically get exposed to a variety of different things as they go to college. What was that like? What kind of was there a shift away from U2, or what was it like when you were in college? How did your musical taste shift there?
There was definitely a shift then. From going back to freshman year, living in the dorms there at Illinois State, I there was just a whole lot of roots reggae music. Certainly led by like Bob Marley, but Peter Tosh was also. Well, Peter Tosh was super popular as well, and it just seemed like walking down the halls, there was just a lot of that reggae, old school roots reggae, and I always enjoyed reggae music, and it really, really grew on me then, and I still to this day love reggae music. But that was around a scene that felt like a 24/7 theme, for a while, and
that's so cool.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that as well. What about a little more current? If you fast forward, even today, who's at the top on your playlist today?
Oh, the top on my playlist today is without question Jimmy Buffett.
Oh wow, okay, still.
Yeah. Oh, to this day, absolutely. It's called Jimmy Buffett, sort of the soundtrack of my life. Just an amazing lyricist and amazing performer, and just I met him once.
Do you have time to tell us about that?
Oh, sure, yeah. Real briefly, I can tell you, Jim. It was August. It was August of 1999. Jimmy Buffett was playing a one-night show at the House of Blues in Chicago, a little intimate venue. I don't know how many people else, maybe 1,000 or something like that.
Oh wow.
Anyway, long story short, I happened to be in a lounge area it was a Ritz Carlton, if I remember right, with a buddy of mine and his girlfriend, just the three of us chatting, having a beer, and in walks Jimmy Buffett, and it was really interesting. It was very cool to meet him, and a couple of things I'll never forget about that is, one is that he was very receptive to just people just saying hey, and we love your music. To I told him the story about Bigger Than the Both of Us. And he just got a big smile on his face. He goes, "Oh wow,
really?"
He says, "I don't even know if I remember the words to that one." That was going back in time for him, but it was really it was something else. And then after about a 15-minute conversation with the guy, he remembered my name when I first introduced him. My buddy's name, my buddy's girlfriend's name, and he had some other people to meet. And he said, "I'll see you guys tomorrow night." And I was in, long story short, we're in the front row, dead center base of the
Oh,
microphone
wow.
stand for that stand. I was with my wife, and when he came out and said hello to the crowd, he's kind of high-fiving people in the front row or whatever it was. He shook my hand, and after the first song, he came over and finished a little guitar riff and took his pick and put it in my wife's hand. And the whole stage, because it was general admission, we got smushed up against the stage. He's like, "You got it." She's like, I got it. She's like, "Okay, boom." And he pulled his hand away, and sure
That's
enough, we got a
awesome.
Jimmy Buffett guitar pick from the House of Blues in 1999. Yeah.
Does she still have it?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Well, thanks for sharing that story. That's a
Yeah, no, for
wonderful
sure.
story.
Yeah, he's just an amazing guy. God bless him.
That's very cool. Yeah. So let's incorporate today in music. You're the CEO of Pause Sparkling Water. And if you were to name a song that would best describe Pause, what do you think that might be?
The best described Pause. Well, we're talking about change and shifting, and I think that this is I think the Beatles. You got to go to the Beatles for something like this. They got a Revolution, I think, is the name of the song.
Yeah,
because I want to change the world. We're going to change the world with this, and that's part of the lyrics there, I think, right?
It's very cool. Yeah,
and I think this is a start. This is a start of an evolution, of a revolution, whatever you want to call it, in terms of again, how people recreate.
Real solution.
Standpoint. Yeah, we've got a real solution for you here. It's called Pause Plus.
Wow, that's good.
Thank you.
That's really good. I
that's
love
logical.
that.
I actually heard that song over the weekend, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, "Yep, this is what we're doing."
Holy cow! So we're going to stay on the path of work, and I'm curious if you have like a pump song or a hype song. You know what I mean? So if you're like, "Oh, I got to go to this meeting," or Monday morning after a long weekend of working, you got to get pumped up. What is your go-to that way?
Yeah, it's kind of easy for me too. As a White Sox fan, AC/DC Thunderstruck. You hear that before
nice,
the game?
Yeah.
And that gets you going. Gets me going.
I don't know how it can't. Because it just starts.
Turn it up really loud, and you're like, "All right, I can run a marathon backwards now. Let's go."
Yeah. I mean, it ramps it up quick in that too, and everybody, when it hits that chorus, just goes crazy. I don't care who you are, where you are. It's like, let it go. It's awesome.
Thunder. Yep.
Yeah, hell yes. That's awesome. Before we end our episode today, I would like to take a moment to thank you all again for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Drop the Needle podcast. A big thanks goes out to our very special guest, Joe Guthrie, the CEO of Pause Sparkling Water, for joining us today. And I invite you all to visit www.pausesparklingwater.com to explore the possibilities of alternative beverages. As a special gift for being here today, Joe is giving all of our viewers / listeners the gift of 20% off of their first purchase of Pause and Pause Plus. When you check out on the website, please use the code DTNPause20. That's DTNPause20 to receive your 20% off gift. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Drop the Needle podcast to stay up to date on our latest episodes. Plus, head on over to our show notes where you'll find a link to show you how to receive your free toolkit from today's episode. The toolkit from episode 2 will give you 5 tools to help you combat stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. And you're also going to find a link to get the episode playlist. All right, my Drop the Needle posse, like Billy Joel says, from the highs to the lows to the end of the show, this is the end of our show. And until next time, this is Jim Alstott wishing you infinite health, happiness, and the perfect playlist of your life. Thanks again for being the best part of us. Catch you next time.